This video becomes very important for any doctor who is about to start their own dental clinic. So, if you are out in search of any shop or a space for your own dental clinic, you should definitely keep this point in mind whether you are going to rent it out or you are going to purchase that shop. Doctors, any dental clinic on a rent basically has three main constant expenses. You should always have competition in good things and in productive things. You can never have competition in destructive things. Never put discount as a part of competition with your neighborhood dentist. Hello doctors, welcome. My aim of presenting this video and previous video on this topic was just to clear out misconceptions and many false notions that many of the new dentists have regarding starting their own dental clinic. Not having a shop for a dental clinic is one of the main reasons for many of the dentists for delaying their decision to start up their own dental clinic. But they don't understand that delaying this decision will not miraculously bring their dental clinic into existence in future. They will have to work hard for it in future also. So with these two videos, I am here to tell them how they can reach this future easily and early. And why doing so will help them become a successful dentist sooner. And this topic of becoming successful dentist sooner, we have already covered in our previous video, that is hashtag number 7. In this video, we are going to discuss about the important things to keep in mind when you are about to start your own dental clinic in any rented shop or space. So first, if you are in any doubt or if you have any dilemma regarding starting your own dental clinic in rented shop, I would suggest you to first have a look at the previous video, that is video hashtag 7. And I am very sure that video will definitely clear out any doubts or dilemma you have regarding starting your own dental clinic. Additionally, I am very much confident it will definitely convince you to start your own dental practice as soon as possible. Here in this video, I will share important points and practical tips which will help you out when you are about to start a dental clinic in rented shop, and also will help you to avoid many issues that arise with landlord in future. Doctors, in a way, this video will serve all the ideal requirements of a clinic-worthy shop or a space. So, if you are out in search of any shop or a space for your own dental clinic, you should definitely keep this point in mind whether you are going to rent it out or you are going to purchase that shop. This video becomes very important for any doctor who is about to start their own dental clinic. Once again, hello doctors, I am Dr. MAVADIA from Akshar Dental Academy. Let's begin. Doctors, as many of you know, I have started my own dental practice in a rented shop, and ever since I have expanded my dental practice from one dental clinic to 3 dental clinics along with a dental academy to train new dental talents. I am mentioning this here in this video to point out 3 important key points to you all. First is, where there is a will, there is always a way to fulfill that will. So if you have a deep desire to set up your own dental clinic, I am your guide to fulfill that will and desire. And I always say this, if you have any issue related to dentistry, feel free to contact us. We will definitely try to help you out and find a solution for you. Number 2, doctors, by now, most of you all know this, that if you have acquired enough practical experience related to basic dental treatments, and if you have worked hard and gathered a self-confidence to start your own dental clinic, according to me, you should not waste any more moment in starting your own dental clinic. Whether you have a shop for your dental clinic or you don't have a shop for your dental clinic. And no matter how many problems you see ahead of you in your path, feel free to contact us. A new perspective can definitely help you out. Number 3, don't be ashamed of starting your own dental clinic in a rented shop. Even the multinational companies have their offices in a rented shop. And doctor, key point to remember here is, if I can start my first dental clinic in a rented shop, and if I can expand my dental practice to 3 dental clinics, I am very sure you all can do it too. Before coming back to our topic on the list of important things to keep in mind before starting your own dental clinic in a rented shop, I would like to bring to your attention a very important financial factor, and that is constant monthly expense of any dental clinic. Doctors, any dental clinic on a rent basically has three main constant expenses. Number one, rent. Number two, assistant salary. And number three, electricity bill. We are discussing these expenses to make it clear to you regarding your budget on rent and fix a maximum upper limit for you to spend before deciding on any rental shop as your potential dental clinic. Please note, I have not counted the dental lab bill and the material expenses here because supposingly if you don't work for 1 month, then this dental lab bill and material expenses will naturally be zero. But still, if your shop is on rent, you will have to pay your that month's rent, you will have to pay salary to your assistant, and you will definitely have to pay the minimum electricity bill. Doctors, but a good news for you all is, according to me, any new dental clinic within 6 months of its setup, I am very sure that average work of around 20,000 is easily achievable. So I would suggest you all new dentists to keep your maximum budget for these three constant expenses below 20,000. And by doing so, you will not have to ask for additional money from any of your parents, or you will not have to add more money to cover your expenses from your savings account. To explain this in detail, let's say for example, monthly electricity bill of your dental clinic comes out to be 2000 rupees. And if you are able to find a full day dental assistant within the budget of 8000, that is including the services for daily cleaning of your shop, then after these two expenses, you are left with a budget of 10,000 rupees. And these 10,000 rupees are your safe rent limit. Doctors, believe me, I say this from my own experience and from experience of many of my students and many of new dentists. Every month 20,000 rupees of work is easily achievable in any dental clinic. So doctors, if you are able to find a clinic worthy shop within this 10,000 rupees limit of rent, then I would say you are in a safe limit, and I can assure you that you will not have many issues regarding finances to run your dental clinic. Now doctors, supposingly if in your city you are not able to find a shop within this budget, then you will definitely have to spend more than this safe rent limit. So this means you will need to have some extra skills, or you will definitely have to work more compared to others. And to such dentists, I always warn them not to form a habit of doing free OPDs, doing very cheap dental treatments, or giving out heavy discounts from starting off their own dental practice. Because if you keep on doing work at a very low price, you will not be able to afford your constant monthly expenses. Doctors, please remember, nothing in this world is cheap. Then why do you want to make dentistry and your own dental practice cheap? First impression is the last impression. Once you give a discount practice impression to your patient, you will always remain a discount doctor in patient's eyes. I have a very good example to explain these disadvantages of discount mentality to you all. I would suggest you all to please listen very carefully. Are you aware of the list called Fortune 500 companies? This is the list of top and best 500 companies of the world. This list was started in around 1960s, and recently, before few years, a study was done on this list and companies in it. One of the shocking conclusion was, within 50 years since this list was first published, Around 80% of the companies which were in the first list have completely disappeared from this world. That is, around 80% of the top and the best world 500 companies in 1960 have completely shut down or went out of business in 50 years. And the main reason for this was most of these companies in any short period of hard time or low economy, they formed a habit of giving huge discount to their customers. These companies did not have any patience to let the hard time pass away and gradually wait for their own way to make their brand name. And by doing so, they themselves gave their own customer a habit of huge discount each time they purchase. Now, after few years, when the world market was again normal and these companies could afford their own expenses, customers instead found another option or another company which was giving huge discount at that time. And this is how a huge discount of one company forced the other company to give huge discount, and ultimately the whole ship of such companies sank. So if you all dentists start acting like these companies, that is in some few hard months or in some phase of hard times, if you start giving huge discounts to your patient, you yourself are spoiling your own patient. There is no medical field where you get discounts on any treatments. Then why there has to be discount in dental treatments? If you want yourself to be counted as a doctor, then you should act like one. You should study what other doctors are doing and you should learn from their profession. Every dentist feel bad when patient call them that you are not a doctor. But even you should look under yourself. Are you doing anything worthy to being called a doctor? Okay. So please, I would like you all to take this very personally. Yes, take it very personally and try to rethink on it. My words are 101% correct. If you want others to respect you, you should act like it. Please keep this in mind. There is no elevator to success, so giving discounts can never bring you success. Speaking bad of your other dentist will never give you success. Also, stop doing cheap things. Stop giving free OPDs to the patient. You yourself are spoiling habit of your patient. And remember, if you in your initial phase are giving huge discounts, soon you will calculate and you will understand that you cannot afford such discounts. But at that time period, there will be some other new dentist giving huge discount at that time. And if everyone starts acting like this, soon the whole ship of dentistry will sink. And you can definitely see this in many metro cities where there are dentists who do work at a very low cost. And in that same city, there are dentists who do quality job and they even charge for it. Okay. So if a patient can pay to that dentist, why cannot the patient pay you also? Okay. You should take this very personally. This was the first thought in my mind when I started my dental practice. That if a patient can pay 100 rupees for a consultation fee to some other dentist, then why won't any other patient pay the same price to me? If a patient can pay 1000 rupees for a scaling to some other dentist, then why cannot they pay 1000 rupees to me also? So I started giving additional personal experiences to the patient. I started treating them with luxury. I give them a very hygienic experience. I give additional time to them. We follow our appointment time to the point, and that is how I gave an edge to my practice. So these are the things you should develop yourself, and these are the things which will bring you success. Discount will never bring you success. Also, I always suggest to my every student to work in unity. You should always charge what your city or your neighborhood dentist are charging. But yes, you can give additional attention to the patient compared to your neighborhood dentist. And you can give extra services like proper sterilization protocol, proper hygiene maintenance in your clinic, and many such additional services, keeping your appointment time, etc., as a part of competition with your neighborhood dentist. But never put discount as a part of competition with your neighborhood dentist. You should always have competition in good things and in productive things. You can never have competition in destructive things. So doctors, I hope you all get what I'm trying to say. We have shifted little bit from our main topic. So coming back to our topic, the thing is I was carried away with it and it really hurts me. Okay, when it comes to emotion related to dentistry. Okay, there are many issues. Okay, we cry out loud that why don't you call us doctor? But we are the only reason for those things. So please excuse me for diverting my attention for a few minutes over there. Let's come back to our topic. So the list of important things to keep in mind before starting your own dental clinic, especially in a rented shop. First point, just start doing it. Okay, don't waste your time. Okay, don't make any useless excuses. If you have any reasons to not doing it, contact us and we will try to help you out or at least find a way around your problems. So first point is start doing it. If you don't have a shop, select a shop within 10k budget of the rent. Okay, but if you cannot find a shop within this 10,000 budget limit, just to get shop at a cheap rent. Don't select bad or unhygienic localities or buildings for your own dental clinic setup. Second is location. Doctors, location of your dental clinic plays a very important part in success of your dental clinic. So I would suggest you all to prefer main roads, crossroads, hospital areas, or areas where you have daily huge footfalls. That is, you have more people passing by through that area daily. But doctors, I would suggest you all also to avoid areas with constant and huge traffic congestions because it makes difficult for the patient to find parking. It makes difficult for the patient to reach to your clinic. And this is a main issue, especially in metro cities. Number 3 is size of your clinic. Now doctors, as such, sky is the limit to set up a dental clinic. But here we will consider the minimum area which is required to start a dental clinic. Doctors, minimum 200 square feet of carpet area is required to set up a decent dental clinic. And that too for only one dental chair. Okay, please don't try to put 2 dental chairs in a very small area. And if you are able to find such area in a low budget rent, consider yourself very lucky. And this is a positive sign that you should start immediately. Number 4 is outside aesthetics. Doctors, the shop, building or complex which you select to be a part of your dental clinic, it should have a clinic worthy outside appearance. So please keep this in mind. Number 5, entry or access to your building and to your clinic. Doctors, for me, ground floor shop are the first preferences. So if you can find a shop in your budget in a ground floor area, it is the best option. But supposingly, if you cannot find a good shop in your budget in a ground floor area, I would suggest you to consider first floor as the best option for you. Because first floor are comparatively cheaper to the ground floor shops and also more easily accessible compared to other shops on higher levels. So while selecting your shop, I would suggest you to prefer ground floor or first floor, and I would suggest you to avoid higher floors. And by chance, if you are forced to select a shop on higher floors, have a look at the management committee of the building, because if the building has lift issues, then it will create more problems for the patient to reach your dental clinic. Also doctors, irrespective to the floor of your dental clinic, you should always select a shop which has one of its side facing the main road, so you can place your clinic name board and which can be easily accessible and readable from the main road or from the entrance of your building. And this is why I prefer ground floor or first floor shop, because putting a good attractive board leads to your constant advertisement, and that too at free of cost. Number 6 point is parking. Now doctors, with increase in lifestyle of the people, parking has turned out to be a headache for many. So you should definitely consider this. If you can get a shop in a complex or building where you have your own parking, then it will definitely turn out to be a plus point for you. Parkings are a major issue in many big cities. So you should consider this, because as your practice will increase, soon your clientele also will increase. And many clinics face such issues. They have very good quality patient and most of them come by their own vehicle or car. But the parking issues is a headache for the patient. So many a times if the patient can find an option of another dental clinic with equally good name and fame and facilities, and also additionally they have good parking facilities, then patient might not remain faithful to your dental clinic. Seventh point is few important points to clear out with your landlord. Point A here is commit for a longer lease. So doctors, if the shops in your area are very costlier, or by chance if you are aware that buying a shop for few years in future will not be possible for you, then I would suggest you all to commit for a longer lease with your landlord when you start your own dental clinic. Most of the time this happens, we are very hesitant to commit for more years with the landlord, and this create troubles many a times. Because see doctors, any dental clinic will take few years to set up. Okay, so I would suggest you all to make it very clear to the landlord that it generally takes 3 to 4 years for you to set up your dental clinic or to set your name in your locality, and it generally takes more than 7 years to start earning from your own dental clinic. So you definitely have to remain in that same space for at least 10 years. Okay, and making this point clear to the landlord will help you in many ways. And by doing so, you will naturally come to a point on discussion on what to do about increment in rent, because increment in rent is major issue for troubles or issues or dispute with the landlord. So if you commit for a longer lease, your lease will definitely include the point on how your rent will increase. And doctors, please see this also, that landlord has put his investment in the shop, so it is his right to get some sort of increment in rent. Okay, but it is also very unethical of the landlord to increase the rent whenever they wish and to whatever amount they wish. So here the best option turn out to be a longer lease, and you should make it a point to write what amount of rent will increase and by what year. Generally, rent increase is 10% at the end of every 3 years. But you can change this condition how you and your landlord see it fit. But I am very sure committing this from early will definitely turn out positive for you. Or if you are not going for a longer lease, you should at least have this discussion with your landlord that how is he going to increase your rent. And most of the landlord initially will hesitate that no, we will see this afterwards. But I think you should make this a point with the landlord initially when you are about to start your own dental clinic, and this will prevent many headaches for you in future. Because most of the time, generally for a 500 or 1000 rupees increment in rent, it create issues with the dentist and the landlord, and then in just matter of egos, landlord will tell you to empty your clinic. And I would suggest you all to avoid such scenarios. So it is better to have commitment from the day one. Number B point in this is landlord should give you first preference in if in any case he has to sell out the shop. Doctors sometimes, due to some unforeseen reasons, landlords are forced to sell their shop. So you should always make this a point to the landlord that landlord should contact you first in any circumstances if he is forced to sell his shop. And if at that moment, if you can manage the money, then you should buy the shop. If by chance in such circumstances, if you are not able to manage the money, the landlord should sell the shop to a reasonable new landlord who will respect your all understanding with your own landlord and keep the same rent and same conditions with you, and also not harass you by asking you to empty out the shop. Number D point here is rent increment. This is one of the main headache and point of dispute in any rented shop. See, this is the universal law. Any landlord wants the unrealistic amount as a rent for his shop, and every tenant wants the cheapest price as a rent of the shop. Here I suggest both landlord and the tenant should be practical and realistic. Tenants should understand that at a regular interval the property prices increases. So they should also respect this and at least agree to an increment of rent at some interval of time with some percentage of the rent. According to a common rule, generally the rent increment should be 10% at the end of every 3 years. But here the tenant and landlord can come to their own agreements regarding the percentage and number of years. Also, many a times landlord just asks for double rent or they increase the rent at their own wish, and this is not an ethical thing to do. So the best option turns out here to be to mentioning the increment in your rent lease ahead when you are about to start your own dental clinic. And if you have not discussed the rent increment with your landlord, many a times after 5 years, the landlord will suddenly ask for a huge increase in the rent, or he will ask you to empty out his shop. And if you have such conditions in written, or best if you have mentioned them in your rent increment, then the landlord cannot harass you with unexpected increase in rent, and also he cannot force you to empty out your shop. So doctors, for your own mental peace, you should get a rent agreement done minimum for 5 years, and I would suggest you to get it done for 10 years. Number 8 point is choose a landlord who never wants to sell. Doctors, so if the shop in your area are very costly, or if you are aware of the fact that it will be very difficult for you to buy your shop immediately after starting your own dental clinic, here is a trick for you which you can use to find out whether the landlord wants to keep the shop on rent for longer lease or he is going to sell in near future. After first or the second meeting of the landlord, you can try to greed him out to buy out the shop. You can put conditions like you would pay 1 lakh more for the current market price and see if landlord is tempted to sell the shop or not. There will be many landlords who will tell you that they don't want to sell the shop at any condition. And such shop can turn out to be a good thing for you, because here the landlords respect the tenants and they will keep the shop on rent, so you can have mental peace for many years. There are many landlords who never want to sell their shop. It is just part of an investment for them, and such landlords are always best for your dental clinic setup. 9th point is water supply. Water is must for any dental clinic setup. Doctors, many commercial complexes don't have overhead water tank, or they don't have connection for the shops in the complexes. So whenever you are about to rent out any shop, or even you are going to purchase any shop, you should find out regarding the water supply. And also you should clear out with the management of the complex or the building that whether they will provide you the water supply or you will have to get it done from your own corporation. And you should also consider this as your expenses when you are budgeting out your dental clinic. 10th point is drainage line. Doctors, drainage line in most of the shops have to be set up separately by us, because most of the commercial complexes don't have drainage lines in the shops. The only point here is that the management of the building or the complex should allow you to put your own drainage line and give you permission to connect it to the main drainage line. Now in some complexes there are generally common toilets. So if the management allows you to connect your drainage line to the toilet line in your own floor, then it will be a very less expense for you. But many complexes, they don't allow to touch any of the internal connections of the building. Then you will have to extend your drainage line to the main drainage line on the main road of your complex. 11th point is your future possibilities in that neighborhood. Doctors, I would suggest you all to rent out a shop in area where you wish to settle down in future. That is, you wish to buy your own shop in that area. So if you rent out in some other locality and then you shift your whole practice after few years to a different locality, then it will be a burden for you initially, and this will also affect your patient flow. So it is always advisable to shift one or two buildings or one or two shop on the same road or in the same locality. But changing out the whole locality can definitely affect your patient flow for initial few years. So doctors, please consider this point before renting out any shop. So if you are setting your dental clinic in a very expensive area, you should be prepared in future to buy a very expensive shop in that same area also. Doctors, now the last and next point is very odd, but I have seen this happen to few of my friends, so I always make it a point to discuss this also. Point is, inquire if any of the family member or relative of the landlord is a dental student or not. Doctors, in few cases I have seen that the landlord's family member or few of the relative are a dental student. Then when you start your own dental clinic in their shop, after few years, when the dental student is ready to set up their dental clinic, the landlord will force you out of his shop, and their relative or family member will then set up their own dental clinic in the same shop. And this can turn out to be bad for the dentist who was practicing in that shop earlier. So I always suggest to all my students, by some way you should inquire regarding any of the family member of the landlord or the distant relative of the landlord is a dental student or not in the same city. Okay, and if by chance you get some information, I would suggest you to avoid such shops. And doctors, please remember, greed has no boundaries. So this happens many a times. So doctors, these points, the concept of fixed expenditure and calculation of the safe limit are the important things that you should keep in mind, especially when you are about to start your own dental clinic in any rented shop. So that's all from me on this topic. And as always, I would like to remind you all, we are always here to help you out with any issues related to dentistry. So feel free to contact us. We will try our level best to bring a solution for you. Doctors, along with this, I have a very humble request to you all. I do this as a part of my dream to make dentistry great in India. But please understand, I have my own private practice, and along with that, I have to handle and manage other two clinics also. Along with this, I have my daily online academic classes, and I also have to teach and train students coming at my clinic. In addition to this, I also have to prepare for my videos. I have to shoot them myself, and I also edit them myself. So doctors, sometimes I will not be able to answer your question immediately or on that very day. But please have faith in me. I will try my level best to answer them as soon as possible. Also, many a times I also need to think on question, and I like to answer every question in detail and completely. So it can take few minutes, hours, or even one day sometime. But I promise I will definitely bring a solution to you. Doctors, I am pointing out this thing right now because right now our channel is growing at a very good rate. But I am very sure our channel will grow to a very big level very soon. During those time period, I don't want any of my subscriber to feel sad or get hurt that I am not responding to their questions. So I hope you understand what I am trying to convey. So finally, that's all from me on this topic. See you all in yet another interesting dental topic. Until then, stay tuned to the channel. Thank you.